Ecclesiastes chapter 11. The NIV uses the word that I like. It says, ship your grain across the sea. Other versions will say, cast your bread upon the waters. Ship your grain across the sea. And after many days, you may receive a return. And yes, make investments. And after many days, you get profit. The verse 2 says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. And you know, Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2 uses the word I look for, invest. Invest. How do we do it? It says in 7 ventures. Let's just say. For BBC. And yeah, baby baako. First year, baby bebree mu. Impo ngotwe. Now, Hassan was you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Ningina say, say, ode abro ni bi share south of a so share north, never be share east. Because we nim near north at Oyerenchen be ABC or. And then he gives an assurance, the verse 3 says, and amen, in the many places to fall the like. And then he tells you, if clouds are full of water, they pour rain on the earth. Whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where it falls, there it will lie. And if clouds are full, figuratively, if you sow, you definitely, the plant will grow and surely you will harvest. So, vapor and as nsuo no kosra na gravity no edoso e de yebeto asan aba se nsuo a eto. And ntini nyina ne se o kasa ye ho obebuom. Anu ntini e kasa Solomon ni o twe no e benyansafo. Financial prudence. The idea here ne say kakire betumi bia enye investment. Hello? Yenye investment. Yenye investment. Yourself ni ebedi ekura enya ho dwene investment ho. What we will even spend daily, it's difficult, and you are talking about investment. Then the verse 4 tells you the key. Whoever watches the wind will not plant or sow. Nia ohem frama ebono nyina ohwem frama no a onua hwe. Obekasa frama bo nukodua emfifi nsuo beto ase aba no. So you may be tempted never to sow because you are looking at the wind. So he's saying that whoever looks at the wind will not plant. And whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. Which presupposes that there is no perfect time for making investments. Why am I saying that? Yes, he says if you look at the wind, you will not sow. So when from a bo any nsuo to ahunua hwe. It's not just as from no ahwe mu a who make any investment. Because what you be yourself ebre no enya nso ye. Nia media kura ɛho yɛ me den na wodwen sɛ menko make investment. So that is it. But in all, the wise man, Solomon, or the author of Ecclesiastes, Kohelet, is telling us that make investment. Or say, ship your grain across the sea, and he gives you the certainty after many days you will receive a return. And until to abode you know gunsuo ni daache onsabeka. Dia onsabeka. So it is certain. He gives you the certainty. But he says that after many days. Nature say in making investment, it calls for patience. I'm happy we have Mami Patience on the platform. Ehia botere Yesu kakra no na yakope box bi si eto susu. Ta mu kai sa toto tete susu box no. E krom ha no mo de ya na ma ye ne se prako bi na ma toto kro nchen. So no susu box. Itimi de kwanse gumu a da kro yogurt bi ba wa adwiri mu anu akofa peseka bi kwan no wa no we di chese. Ti 1 month na susu na ato ye no de dakoro yogurt kala wele ebi pampan fa hwini ma so ni panso yombe na wabu susu box nani na odi akotwa wanu mu shpelele na chese ususu na oto investment no save na o ye no enya ho abotre enso hwe kakra ba ye no wakobu ani anunti I say ship your grain. And then he says, after many days, which means that it's not 1 day, it's not 2 days. And until your savings. Now, when you put kakra, now pay with the investment. To your investment, now, it also nyabutre, nenwe Yes, sir. Investment, akụkọ no hyɛ aseɛ so ɔtoa no awe akụkọ no ne ba no nyinaa kosua no na asa no asa akɔhyɛ aseɛ daabi ɔsɛ after many days you will harvest ɛno nti ɛna ɔsɛ sɛ who invest in 7 as I invest in 8 principle ni nyinaa ne sɛ diversify Emfa uwe ni nyinaa nkosua ni nyinaa engu kenten baako se fru nsa na kyese bibia akọ enu nti na kyese o portfolio no diversify enu nti u invest ewo akukom na o invest nso wo aponchimu na we invest wo makom enti se enkukọ yare ba aponche no de nkukọ yare na ntimi nkum aponche no se aponche no problem simu a o ntimi nkọwe mako no enso nye oka se illustration na me ye no se atiase you diversify. Meko business kakra, mponche business kakra, kuko kakra, jene kakra. Tu kani nyina abomu a na emu ayedu. And until you all can invest in 7 and also invest in 8. Kitwe biensa. So there is power in investment. The idea of investment is that if you really follow what I've been teaching since Monday, I said that try to live beyond or below your means. Save and make a budget. And then the third, I said, the second, save and put that money into what we call emergency fund for 6 months. Where you must say, "Bet me, I also 6 months." When I know every, continue to save. Never been so above Busiano by what we call protecting the family through insurance. Continue to save when your capital, the capital kakrana when you know, sadi etibia make investment. And the investment cannot come when you have not passed through the test of what I have already discussed or described. Nti yeah, ye kase and shada nye ideas of kase okoje bosia de investment. Say your style is bosia no oje na betua na investment no enwo fine. But you will be a free ne youth premu nyina wo ye discipline or save and make investment to your treasure bill. Sikani mu odua no the treasure bill na si awa je bosia no de bosia na 3 aye adwuma to ye adwuma ni bre so loan to ontua loan ni wie no na ne sika na o de to treasure bill no e yo no ane dia e na sa sika na o je from bank sa de ye adwuma e san so yo no ane dia wa yesa ama wa kona ni woni sika semu eno nti ni ameka nyina ne say yenya habit of saving, and then afterwards, yenya the discipline of saying that I am making investment. And whilst you do the investment, unya butre, or see after many days you receive it. Unya butre. Now make sure also say we diversify the investment ahodo na awoye eno nyansafo no efa yen ensikasem ene ejapade ho nsem otuyenfo ewo ho. This is the Old Testament. When you read Matthew chapter 25, yesu so kire say yes e be investment. Or you see the parable of the talent. Owura bi a Awurade asem se oko baby ena ofre ne nkoa se oma ofre Matthew 25 verse 14 onwards. Oma wo ejapade a e ka se talent. Na ebi enya 5 omo de ye adwuma ma no ye mo ho ebi nya 2 omo ye adwuma ba ko onya 1 ena okudu 2 form the share ho owura ne ba ya na okwa ko yi 1 ne ma no se masa o ma me ba ko ne no anie me de madi no krepa ma ani joado na ye ntie ne Yesu ekan or say the master ne kan or say after a long time, the verse 19 Matthew 25:19, after a long time the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. Wow, he had made nice investment when you have double. Then the master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Yo nyan enumuno ni wura ne ba ye oso aye ne mbo no ne je a wa ya de we di no kre bra na yenye ani mom. The man who had 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. You no so de koye adwuma ma no ye mo ho. Ni wura no ene je. The man, verse 24. Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. Hey, Mumu ye bibi ye wa ho. Ebi enya 5. Omadi no kre. Ebi enya 2. We di no kre. Di enya 1 no we di no kre. Ebi pay so, ebi pay sa. Ebi pay ye ho ne ho. That is the society we live in. But in all, let's look at the response. Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, investing where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. Hey, we are some animal. To be a cassette or more, savvy. Yenia is a casano, ya casso. Omo munya 5 no de adwuma mo ho mo ba ya ro se masa me de ade na koye adwuma eni eje o se mo aya ade ni onya mienu o se mo aya ade ni onya ba ko ono ansa na ode wan ne kura be ma Nyankopon no e de be ma masa no hwe ni o kan ye. I knew that you are a hard man. Well, a hard man o ma ba ko je harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid till Namisro and went out and hid your gold in the ground. Timide usikane kosie. So here is what belongs to you. Ntinia eya odi ya no one a wode ma amene no an ye saje wa de. Anu ntina cha say in a way no one invest no amana ye ode any profit. This is the man. One man. I mean, one goat. Maybe some of us can identify ourselves with this one man. What is the problem? We have wrong perspective about God, about our master. You see, I know you are a hard man. You harvest no where you have no soul. Ntina adwiana owo ni wura na hono na nye. And also I say I was afraid. Some of us are not able to invest because of fear. Me tisika 50 euro busumi bia dia bibi for that no na the other kind of so me anso me ntimenye fear na se bibi se na se skari depreciate here fear or say you harvest where you have not sown and was say I have not sown and where is it? Back to the verse 24. Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. When in a wrong perspective about the master. In other words, wrong perspective about God. You see, nyame yo nyame aya ekase oye supernatural. Jenio supernatural. Nyame betimi ehira yen supernaturally. Ba no kwasam ne say nyame nyansa ne ntimpo ekase supernatural. Nature say natural be ye adwuma na nyame di super ne kan ho. Enti wo afa mu die no etwa se wo ye. Na nyame so aye na fam de ne dia aye de account. Akoye se wo ye school ni na wonsua de. Wonsua na osi o nyame be ma me answer no ntimi nsua. It doesn't work that way. Na no nti owura no se ne buta ne adwea no fa nyame ana owura ne ho na enye. So look at it. The verse when it says, his master replied. So if we fail to make investment in any form, literally it is quite dangerous, of course. He says that you wicked, lazy servant. Hey, so you knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I return, I would have received it back with interest. So the key here, when we talk about investment, is putting your resource, putting your money in such a way that you get some interest. He says, carry the one and here, why invest it? Adia this ike ure mu no bibibia ma mebo ho am ka ho a na say it was not properly invested. It is just like this one guy putting that money into the ground and digging it out and giving it to the owner. I use this same passage to teach about what I call wealth creation. Wealth creation. And then me look at it from the lens of investment. And until you say investment ni nyina say wo ahya ho so ede bibia eba wonsam bi kakra sie na ubomodin say wode to adwuma bi mu a ebeboa ma bibi aba saa sika ne ho na etimi aboa daache no higher esanso hereafter. And that is what I talk about investment. So all of us can do investment. Ye nyina ebetimi invest amana yi. Because osofo me da social so me dey na mkoye investment. Pacho da social so da bia otimi nya ata da foforo tohye. So no. I don't we investment ye. Obi say oko restaurant ye the menu e ni bro. Na nka ubechusu 15 euro aduane a decide say ubechusu 12 3 no fa koye investment. Me ka we nyina twe adwen asisu say like we studied on Monday, we need to think right about money. Unyamini Pebi said, if you suspend investment today, you have made an income tomorrow. And until expenditure kawuya ne aburo so no, uto obu ase kakra echina saadie na your income. So everybody, to some extent, can do one way or the other some form of investment. Somebody will also say that, but Pastor, now I am too old. If I had got this information from my teenage years, I would have been able to do better. Yes, there is a common saying that better late than none. If you remember and you do it now, it's better. Ebi ane nyame be mu edi 100 years was asasi so. Ebia na nyame mu adi 120 years was asase so. Eno nti ehunu ho se obretwam. After all, there be a bomb boy say rather hwe en kra so hwe honhom so hwe nipadua so. Eno nti I am trying to take away the myths surrounding investment. So don't think you are too old. Man nwe se wanyine dodo. Man nwe se osika unya no esua. Man nwe sa. It is never too late. You can start now. All of us can start now. Make a hubi. You bet me ashase amano ayeye. Now, this is the biblical foundation. Back to what can we do now as far as investment is concerned? Dear you bet me aye. Kasafa investment. And then there near mommy and son. 3 major areas or examples. And mema. Other things ebeka ho asem nyambo echina. What I call wealth creation. But 3 major things or areas are CCA metimi etu nyina yemfo so sofo. Say yen try to invest. You can make it 3 or 4. But I put the 1 and 2 together. 3 areas. So number 1, and say, invest in God's kingdom advancement. Number 2, you can invest in what we call mutual fund. Literally, you don't know, ABA new bread. And number 3, you can invest in what we call real estate. Me limit and that discussion to only these 3 major areas. Kingdom and of course, and people. You can add family and people to God's kingdom. And number 1. You can invest in what we call mutual fund management. And then the 3rd is real estate. My enfano mako. Order 4. Minimo kasa se ejidifo. Me osofo. Nyese bia me osofo nti na meka we. Na emom nyame nam na adom ne na hu mmobro so obie mani e wo saa de we ansa kra na etire nyame frɛ me se me yɛ osofo. Say ye bu Awurade aheni enkoso. I have said it here over and over, in the church. Rade enishira. Bible say onyankopon shira enema onipa eyo defo na mfa areho enka ho. One of the greatest and all-time investment you can make is to invest into God's kingdom. But therefore, enema yesia fasika ho ehia. And ye di mo akotri nyina ne say nyame nam wo sika so, o kakra so, wo savings bi so, wo nukredie bi so, na onam wo sika no so ebema obi ate asempa no. And until you see kingdom advancement conference. The reason why God blesses us with good health, with money, dear was as you say, nyame nam yen so ebe ye nshira ma afoforo. And until the best and timeless true investment of all time we can make is to invest in God's kingdom. And how do we see God's kingdom? It is manifested in the form of the church. The church is the body of Christ. Invest into it. The Casalfa said, you better invest in mutual fund or real estate. But the kingdom of God principle is yes, one kasa ministry na juma mu na we invest in. The scientist, the greatest lie the enemy, the devil can use to deceive people is to discourage them from giving to God's church. But no question say Paul Kwasi was saying yes, I'm a Japadia bibi from ho nemo de mama kunta wasro adoso. I say, what will it profit a man or a woman if he gains the whole world but loses his or her soul? Yema adofo enye wiase Japadia nyina nanso onim Yesu amfaso be na woso. And until the greatest investment we can make of all is to invest in God's church. The kawe ya na meka say nyame nhyira mo pa amazing for any other for. May God bless you. Yimu bebre omu a ye determines every month to be a bedi nokura. Se yensika 300 euro ni enya bosome a ye di mu 30 ba. Se yensika 1000 ye di mu 100 ba. Yimu bebre ohanuma ye di nokura merade. And I want to encourage you to say that osoro ehunu na onyame a oshira obode maba so onyame be shira. And the greatest investment you can do of all time. And that is it. I told you I've shared this story over and over again. I use my own life. Me beti nyankopo ahinie principle of investment tithes ase. Na me business. I was doing business. I was here for me si muntamo business here. So many things. My business pa. Sika na me wo nyina na me to makoma so me so tight. The two so tight at the core asoro fie. In those days, na me training college. Me training college na me ta so say business. Training college teacher fu e kire ma de ani ade nyina na me supply omo trouser length material. Omo san hia bosi an omo ba me ho. So I was into that business. And until me to so tight. Papa no hwesika ne so. No oni me papa, oni me. O say na boy am so this ka we abasa we school ni e den otimi this ka mo do say bye. To be hwe me. Be hwe me. E kire be ba me fie didi nkomo ye be ya adamfo. Ye be ya adamfo. Enti a kire me wie training college e kire ade ni ade we ma adamfo e no onya call to come to Bible studies. Bible school. Suku oba nkwa na menti dida Christian Service University. Anunti e kire wo be wie na me so menya akọ. Ti menya na because why madam for no course at school no nti. Sa school no e na me so me call ye. Sa school na me call ye no. Say utie story na. E ye tight bi na me tua na me ne papa no benya adamfo. Suku okwa na me call bi. Sa school na me call e ho na me ko shia sofo maame a e ware ye. E ho na me wie school no e chiri teacher ni madam bi o kire ma bi o school no ko shia no ka say me ni organization bi o Hamburg me di un address be ma na wa apply. And me apply ya. Me di ba on scholarship ba Hamburg. So no the nyame ye it is the greatest investment. Gideon mo a me tu ye e fa nyame asafo ho etua tight yi sika no ye no na nyame bie nam so bie kwan ma menya ayere ye no na nyame nam so bie kwan e ma menya divine recommendation enei maba Hamburg nyame nam so ama yenya amazing grace asafui. And until the greatest investment you can do is to invest in God's church. Sika bia ni wa odofo wuyi e wo nyame fi a wayi ato aguda. Me osofo se de me ka no. Me ka hye Awurade ani mo nyam se asosofo nyame nam ne homobro so bibi e ba me nsem so osofo e wa asafo nom. Me so metu so tight ni bi. Because I believe in that principle. I believe in that principle. And don't you other say utua sika near the bit your software car no software no e kan nyame asem a untungu ye because software ni preach you preaching no as a chira afoforo e sha afoforo nkran nyame adwuma na waye. Sometimes the devil makes us believe in a lie say when I do sika come na dia masofo a big ministry e na wo ye say what ase esa e nshira. And until the greatest investment be ye say unyame adwuma mu ye di esika be wurem ye mu nhira no apart from one kasa eboa afoforo eboa wo nchirima daache e be twa so aba. And until ye no ye first investment ametufo kingdom advancement no ne fam mapa nyankopon enso ebe shira. Imagine say ye mfa ne say meti hai so sofo no obi a onya asoroba ese abrante oye nyame adwuma nti ma me fa sika supporto amazing grace ne fa bi ntua neka na wa wonso ti asore num kakra e ba no watena so umfa hwe ma afe no afre o sofo mpesa me be yese wa asore na osofo no wa ye ni nyina ma na uye wi ana otifie uma no afre o sofo me pesa me beda ase me pesa me be yese. Meanwhile, you are not investing. Meanwhile, you put money into so many different things. And until the greatest investment you can do is to invest in God's church. Mame fire no ento ne yanko the second investment. Ecclesiastes say invest in 7 and invest in 8. Diversify your investment. Professional skills are here to make investment. You need your different assets. Bet me I invest in home. But nimdie no ni adagye no yenya. And until you credible companies omo ewo bibi e friend say omo manage people's assets. You can say mutual fund. Nti ubetimi agogo ebia Germany na wa ubetimi agogo mutual funds companies what Germany no ahwe portfolio ahwe wo mo returns ni ade. Anunti kakre bia betimi dia shase bia no betimi dia shase wo mo no eye professionals hodo a wo munim stocks shares any companies ade a usika no betimi achichem di bia ewura ba bia anya hwe afenso no na wanyambo ho kakra. Anunti ye that mutual fund companies. I'm not representing any company. I don't think I'm a person who be specifically, but would you bet me I go no be same. There are so many mutual fund companies who bet to me I'm making sure say anya hwe wo de ma ho se bosumi nsia bia wo de bia €500 ekorem €300 ekorem no ne ma ho you can say sometime. You can Ecclesiastes no say cast your bread and after many days ma ho bre w'animra ahoso no na akọ n'anim eno nti ye no eye where ubetumi a invest na aye kama eno nti ye no enso eye your friend is saying one of the investment opportunities that you can. I don't think mutual funds, of course, it depending upon who goal see when so. As also, I be a daji or rent tolerance. So, na near a man no yet say will be a baby mutual fund company so manage people's investment, any people's profit near the end, not or more haunted here. So the people who go into this mutual fund management are experts. They are professionals. Usika kakra no omo ebetumi ayeden ahweso ye. And I'm some professionals so they can diversify. Senia me dey kan ekire mu no. And ye no so no affordable kakra senia usika no tie bia obetumi invest na omo so ebeye. And ade a ube invest say mutual fund ade no ya no ne tax no nye bibia eso and convenient because I mean at your own convenience so and say wo mu na upo sika on satimi otimi koje wa ade so ho and bibia bro ni beka say transparent say if you invest in mutual fund say shares no mo de toye na enyini a ade a ubetimi a follow na wahu na etimi aboa and companies are registered mutual fund company no so aban regulate I don't to be antimi for sika ni I don't hear no your friend is saying investment platform opportunity to me na why the last aspect America real estate me say baby a free bano you know they are common ubia person o si dan you know so your investment a dansie and so the third aspect a dansie you know so nice investment opportunity kakra meka ene say minim futuo ebia wa wetimi afa wetimi so pass on to baby kakra meka ene say ani die mo ye bododo na your platform yi so yi se obekọ Ghana za o koseto kura na menyini say obekọ akodi emfie mienu mfie miensa empem bebre no unyini kura na eden abetena ha mo anu nti say uwa akwanya say ube invest in real estate even here in Europe na beye ya so wo ho akwanya to ho anamo ne beye ema enva nhyewa adwini mu say uto dan wo Germany enyeye ema no nhyewa adwini mu say wo ba bi eto dan a enyeye ebeyeye ye hu ne sa it is possible for you to buy a facility here in Germany. Nia, most important is say, anya hwe o permanent residence wa ha, and I say, your friend is saying, German pass, citizen, secure job, ye wa juma, kama. So, na sanya ye free jua na bay, who make sure say, a very good credit score, ushufa kama. Dan amount for Tony nyina no deposit na wo hia na you can say bank no na to amount percentage bi na wo hia for makla ne sa na bi na wo America si atodan wo UK si atodan dodo na ye bank na wo no ne omu hia wow eigen capital one kasa capital so no na what they ato amena ye enti ye possible say ubetumi ato dan wa ha amena ye ni nyina ne say ube discipline ho say anya hwe no usevu kakra na wape capital no se ebia womfie ene niema binti eya ya sa ye too later fa hye wo ma adwene mu fa hye wo wabusuafo adwene mu obi biara o tu ba hafoforo a o ye youth fa hye na adwene mu se oye ebeyeye ebia mu bi sa nchechire ami chirechire se ye nyane ntamu akeboa ye so no aha enti fa hye wo adwene mu sa se eye possible the dimension kra bie mu so ne se wo we ka se real estate na ye wona ma me ka se ene ye wona be 3 dimensions ene ubetimi ahai dan na wo so dan no a wa han no so de ama afoforo ahan ye ni nyina ka real estate no na no nti no ubetimi ahai dan kase na wo dan abehan wa yi bi so ama afoforo na wanya profit wo so ye no so ye friend say rent to rent ene ye bi kura so etimi shada ko han dan no mo asiesie mu kama no mo de aye Airbnb you know the say you are going to professional renters and it is possible and people are making it you know no there ye fan say woni sika o de to dan no na mo wo sika wo di high dan wo asiesie e de aye bibi ti say Airbnb no ewo ho ena yo bibi a friend say German for because the capital language just say wo high wo to dan no na wo di high amanfo na amanfo na wo di high mo ti dem mo na etua kama da bia mete ewo ahai obi profit obi na me fan say wa ma bank ato bosia ma na me na me tua ne bank no bosia no e ma no because bosu su bia me tua dan ka. So, and if you have all the tools to save and to buy it, and even obi and our high no, it is possible. It is possible. The third aspect, I begin to say, one kasa who to dine no, my bank, kasa who to say, who provide the BBA who here be in a bank no, atama na wa what name. And think a daya utia na bosome ne fan say ye wan kasa wo dan na utia and unti for some years back no na just a dan no abeyo dia when tua nie kura na wo ton wa the magic of real estate ni say I appreciate a dan bo ko na nimbri bia metunya ma mo examples bebre minimo bi wo land na to dan 80,000 after some years or turn 250,000 Binsu Toby 60,000 US after some time or turn 250,000. Germany heya minimobi ewo Stuttgart ye dan or toy no na be 110 chireye wa turn 350,000 euro. Wuti dini sa kakraka ni nyina ne say possible to own a facility even here also. But you need the right information, the discipline, and pembebre no. As I said, baby, a free ban, you direct all your resources to go and build in Ghana. And until the Daga Ghana, see or Ghana, no say, oh, ka sika komuna bomua, and kemu half credit me to die waha. Meanwhile, you are Ghana, no, and ya dear. Ubetimi akwakwatina busumi nsia kra. Anunti this is the myth aspect. Oh no. Anunti no say yes wa okro mu besi a ubetimi asika kra bi na wa make sure say baby awo wa hanom. Say wo boa wo ho na beyeye na ngrata se ni bibia so beko kama na ubetimi dia pe bi wa ha ebeyeye so mo adwen ekoso a. Ya na ya adwen ye say o me to dan a me da social so say no ntinna e wo se ukeka ne ma bom na utimi ye adwuma ntam de beye ya bo modern na ye isan say se unkwa na nyina uti social wote oda social so a den say aban be ma abosia na say bank be ma abosia say fato dan anunti this is information near a real estate investment eboa ne say unlike company beer ube beer fi beer bro aba bro tax ube tua tax kese no real estate there ne tax no insignificant say wato edan na waton na mfaso abaso a enya de a eso tax no eya de bia udi skani nyina akoma aban enu nti people go into real estate obi ho a oto na wasiesie na waton na kakra nti wanimra ahoso na capital na kakra ka orofon ebre no enti sa three major areas in amaka ho asem ebia you may have different areas about me making investment, but I've talked about the fact say invest in God's church, invest in people, invest in family. Se bibi ni so na so boa obi na boa obi e wo obi suku any idea ya no so a form of investment by no no there who expect immediate return. Se wo boa oba na esi ni ya enye se usika de awuram chinchina wo so ogifiri uba ne ho de be ya no no there eye humanity eye nyame adwuma no aye se nyame nam so nso aboa obi ewo na desuam na meti ha ni krofo bebre na support me ma o ma desuam theological school papa ba akon Mr. Lamte enra me ne kasa he helped me a lot in my theological school anunti se wunya me ho mfaso obi na dua o me muntira so ahono anunti se won so kwanya wo ho na oboa obi school sam obabi oboa no a ye no so your investment but ye no no de enye investment se wa nkasa wo hwe ani so obenya direct return ye ni osoro ne hira anunti na me can say kingdom advancement I the same thing say we invest in God's church and as we invest in others and people ye no so your form of investment ne ye no no osoro and a reward but mutual fund any real estate no there you get immediate return after many days. Nyame enhyira wo pa se wama ho kwan na yegusu sua ade